quick live. I just woke up and wanted to talk a little bit about this YouTuber, Dave Pakman. Okay. He's a political YouTuber, complete Democrat, liberal, nothing good to say about this guy. But okay, one thing is everyone has the right, you know, to want to vote for any candidate, any political party. I get it. But when you're a hypocrite, like this guy, Dave Pakman, it just pisses me off. It gets me very angry. Okay, so countless times you hear David Pakman say, regarding Chris Christie when he was allegedly saying, that Chris Christie is overweight, meaning Trump was implying this. And what David Pakman actually doesn't know is that Trump corrected someone in the audience. There was someone at one of Trump's rallies, and they said, Chris Christie's a fat pig. Now this was someone in the audience, and Donald Trump corrected that person. He said, "You don't speak that way. You don't say that. Okay, we have to be civil here." So 100%, Donald Trump corrected that person and did not in any way, shape, or form disrespect Chris Christie. He makes little jokes, but hey, that's entertainment. But when it came down to a real insult, Donald Trump corrected that person in the audience who called Chris Christie a fat pig. But now this guy, David Pakman, is always talking about, this guy, Donald Trump has no respect. He's always making fun of Chris Christie's weight. Okay, well, here's the funny thing. Okay, Dave Pakman just puts out a video that Donald Trump claims that he weighs 215 pounds. He's making a big joke about it. Okay, now, first of all, is that really newsworthy? I mean, seriously, is it really newsworthy? Like that he's actually taking the time out of his day, making a video that Donald Trump claimed when he was at the Georgia, when he turned himself in and he had to do the mugshot, and they asked him his weight. He said he was 250 pounds. What people don't know about Donald Trump is he's very tall. I met Donald Trump, and I can tell you something. He towered over me. He's very, very tall. So it would not shock me if he was 250 pounds. He's a very tall guy. Okay. Let me see. No, that's that other YouTuber. Like that Greek guy. I keep forgetting his name. I have to look it up. You had to do that to me. Now I'm gonna have to look this frigging guy up. Christoph. Yes, Christoph Avelius. That's who you're talking about, Antonio. Christoph Avelius. He's the guy that does all the clickbait and says that, he said Donald Trump's daughter died. He said everybody's bad dying. Yeah, I mean, that guy. And you know what's amazing about that guy is he's got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers and millions. I mean, forget it. I think he's got like something like 300 million views or some crazy thing. And every single video that he puts out is just a lie. I don't know who this guy is that you're talking about, Alex. I never heard of him before. Raul, I don't know. But anyway, getting back. All right. So this guy really pisses me off, this guy, Dave Pakman. And I'm really going to start making a lot of videos about this guy. I don't like this guy. I don't like him at all. You want to know what's going to happen? Not that Dave Pakman will ever see this video. Donald Trump is going to win the presidency of the United States of America. What all of these people don't understand is that all of this stuff that's going on, all these 4 indictments, all these criminal charges, his popularity is going through the roof. He's not just winning. Everybody was like, why did he show up to the Republican debate? Because he doesn't have to show up to the Republican debate. The guy's winning by like 70%. He's destroying everybody. There's no reason for him to be. There's nothing to debate. He is winning by a landslide. And I can't wait. Look, I don't want to make this political because I know a lot of you, possibly a Democrat, and a lot of you don't want to hear this. So that's why I'm going to keep this short and sweet. There is a method to this. I want to get into DWAC, okay, which is the main reason why I want to have this live stream. Um, what all of you have to understand is put aside the fact if you like Trump or if you don't like Trump. Put that aside. You can't deny the fact that he is ahead in the polls. He is winning. He is winning by a landslide. And he most likely is going to be the Republican nominee, despite what people say. He's winning by a landslide. Now, what does that do for DWAC? It does a lot because DWAC right now is holding on by a string based on what's going to happen with Donald J. Trump. I said it before and I'll say it again. If Donald J. Trump loses the Republican nomination, that's it. It's all. I do believe DWAC will probably be finished. It's all over for DWAC. So DWAC is a gamble. It's a gamble. But if he wins the Republican nomination and if he goes on to win the presidency, I mean, to me, DWAC is in the bag for Moaz. DWAC will complete the merger with Truth Social, and you have to remember the last time DWAC went to almost $200 a share, and that was just on sizzle. That was on sizzle. That was just on that he announced he was getting involved with this company, Donald J. Trump, with the hopes that they could, have a merger. If the merger goes through, and if the merger is completed, I can't see how DWAC can go to 500 a share, 600 a share, possibly 1,000 a share or higher. But again, I just want to be clear to all of you because a lot of you misunderstand me, you miscommunicate with me. You're like, Apefather, I thought you were talking about stocks. This is not what I said in my last video. I said I am not investing any more money in the stock market. So I just want to be clear because everybody always misunderstands me. Everyone always misunderstands me. I never said I was going to stop talking about stocks, listen to me, especially stocks that I own. And you know something? I have news for you. If I see a stock that I think has promise, I'll make a video about it, but I will be honest with all of you and tell you I'm not investing in it. I will be honest with you. Like let's say that someone, that I know that's a very, very good because I know people in my family, especially in my wife's family, that are very savvy investors. And a lot of times they mention things to me. If I hear something that I feels that is promising to you, I'll mention it. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be completely honest and transparent. I am not putting any more money in the stock market. Look, I got enough money. I put hundreds, hundreds, and hundreds, and hundreds, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in the stock market between AMC, between GameStop, between DWAC, between BEV Splash, MBOT, Nano Dimensions. I'm done. I'm good. Okay. See, I feel like my portfolio is set up good for both the short term and both the long term. All right. I even think of GameStop, if you want me to tell you the truth, as a great long term investment under Ryan Cohen's leadership. I actually see GameStop over the next like Morant's rants, he'll say it sooner. Morant's rants will say it sooner. I'm giving GameStop in my mind like 5 years. I'm giving it like 5 years. I feel it's going to be over $80 a share. So I have things set up where if certain stocks that are in my portfolio reach certain price points, they're all going to get me back my AMC money. And this includes MBOT, this includes Nano Dimensions, and this includes even a Splash that has a price target of $20. Okay, potentially a price target of $20. And I really, really feel big. And my third biggest stock is DWAC. Okay, is DWAC. And my whole thing with DWAC is I'm betting on Trump. I'm betting on Trump. But anyway, let me see here. Look, Alex, the truth is that I'm not a Democrat. I'm a Republican. The truth is that the stock market to me is a gamble. And when I gamble to win big. I don't gamble. See, like a lot of you with the stock market, you just want to make crumbs. I want to make the whole bakery. So you have to try to understand. I got involved in AMC not to make a profit. I got involved in AMC to make Bon Jovi wealth. Like I wanted to make, I'm not kidding you, I wanted to make 100 million, $200 million on AMC. I truly believed that AMC had billions, trillions of synthetic shares, and I just believed that we were going to set the price. I believed that we had the short sellers buy the bulls, and that this thing had the potential to go to 10, 20, 50,000, 100,000 or more a share. I really believed it. But and you want to know the truth, I probably still believe it. But the thing is, there's just what I didn't really take into consideration is how corrupt the stock market is. That's the thing. I kind of thought that they would let, because this was during the time you have to try to only you have to try to say this was during the time GameStop had that major squeeze. You know what I mean? And it was just, you started thinking like it was possible. You started thinking like, look, if we could beat Melvin, and we destroyed Melvin, you started thinking this could happen again, and we could beat Citadel. And that was just the thinking. It wasn't just by me; it was the thinking of everyone at that time. And I went really, really heavy, heavy into AMC. So when you say things like, "Oh, you should have sold Apefather at 72 or whatever it is," that wasn't my thinking. My thinking was sell at 100,000 a share, sell at 200,000 a share. Then as time went on, I started thinking, all right, maybe I'll sell a portion of my portfolio at like 1,000 a share. You know what I mean? And then I'll hold a whole bunch, for Pluto. But nothing turned out the way we wanted it to turn out. Nothing turned out the way it just all, it was like this downward spiral. It was a downward spiral. I kept seeing AMC going lower and lower. And the funny thing is no apes were selling, right? No apes were selling. So there was like no logical reason why AMC kept going lower. The only logical reason, to me at least, would be naked shorting. Now I can't prove it, so I have to say it's alleged. I have to say it's alleged, but it's the only thing that seemed to make any sense. And if you think about it, put yourself in these hedge funds position. If all they have to do, right, is use these Fugazi, these phantom shares, these synthetic shares, pile them up on AMC, they're going to push the stock down. Then all they have to do, they don't pay interest on these friggin' synthetic shares, right? So that's another thing. Everybody's always talking about what the cost to borrow is. But what they don't understand is that with synthetic shares, there is no cost to borrow. They're not borrowing. Synthetic shares are promissory notes. And I think a lot of times people get confused. They can't differentiate between the two. So they're thinking they're paying interest on synthetic shares. They're not paying, they're promissory notes. So they could literally borrow an unlimited amount of doesn't it sound to be so illegal? And I really feel that something, you want to know really what we should really hire West Christian for is that just this whole concept of synthetic shares, it should be illegal. It should be illegal. Like why does Citadel and all of these short sellers have the right to use these shares that don't exist? They're imaginary shares to actually push a stock down, not have to pay. This is the best part. Not even have to pay anything on it. No interest. Put the company bankrupt. And then the best part is they all disappear. They don't have to worry about the taxes. All the synthetic shares disappear. What's up, ZK8ET? How you doing? What's up, Eddie Lee? And there's all the standard haters. Uh, anyway, you see, it just gets to a point where you're dealing with forces. See, you want to know what it is? If we were actually organized, which we're not, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. If we were organized, we could probably win. We could probably win, but we're not organized. We're the most disorganized. And that's why there's a reason why they call us dumb money. And the reason is, and I don't want to hurt your feelings, but we're not organized. Look, you have a whole bunch of us that are divided. First of all, that's mistake number one. You had a whole bunch of apes that actually voted yes for this friggin' 1-for-10 reverse stock split. Then you have the apes that voted no, right? So right there, you have major division. You have apes that believe in Adam Aaron, still calling him the silverback. You have apes that see his true colors, that he only cares about himself, this mother effer, paying himself $25 million a year, right? So there's a lot of division, you know. Then you have, this is the majority of the apes. I'm going to tell you what I've learned from being in this movement. The majority of the apes are depending on a broken system. They're depending on a system that doesn't like care about them. They don't understand. Like Judge Zerd, we thought she was on our side. Nope. Turns out the courts are just as corrupt as the short sell is, as Wall Street is. Okay. So no big surprise, right? So this is what I'm trying to say. But I noticed that so many apes are putting their hopes that Gary Gensler is going to rescue them, Judge Zerd. Now, even me, look, you want to know what it was? I tried to give Judge Zerd the benefit of the doubt. I did, because it seemed like she was on our side, but eventually her true colors came out. Okay, what are you going to do, right? So that's another problem with the apes. You're putting too much stock, and I'm not talking about stock in terms of the stock market. I'm talking about faith. You're putting too much faith in a broken system that doesn't care about you. In other words, Gary Gensler doesn't care about you. Adam Aaron doesn't care about you. Judge Zerd doesn't care about you. The Department of Justice doesn't care about you. The SEC doesn't care about you. FINRA doesn't care about you. The DTCC doesn't care about you. And I got to tell you, for so long that I've been on YouTube, I keep seeing it over and over again. How even the Marine, when he had his protest, he was trying to reach out to Gary Gensler. He was like, Gary Gensler, did you see our protest? And it was just pissing me off because I was telling the Marine, Gary Gensler doesn't care about us. You're making a jackass out of yourself, Mike. All right, let me read some of this here. Yeah, Adam and Ron. That's his true name. Look, Antonio, okay, I get it. You're an advocate for the stock market. I get it. But let me tell you something. Even in companies that are blue chip companies, there is a lot of corruption going on. There is a lot of manipulation going on. All right. And I don't want to keep arguing. Look, you're an advocate for the stock market. You do what's best for you. Like I always say, at the end of the day, I am not a financial planner. Listen to me. I don't give financial advice. I'm an entertainer. Okay. So at the end of the day, if you still believe in this corrupt stock market, God bless you. God bless your families. Look, here's where I'm at with the stock market. I have a lot of money that I've invested. I am down a lot of money. I refuse to put any more money in the stock market. Okay. I have enough shares that if things go the way I want them to go, I will be sitting pretty. And that's it. And that's all I'm going to, I'm done. I'm not doing it no more. So if you want to do it, do it. Okay. I'm done. I regret it. If I could turn back time, I would have took these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I would have put it into gold or real estate. That's what I would have did. I'm gonna be. You want me to be honest with you? You want me to be honest with all of you? If I could turn back time, I would have took all of that money, and that was my original goal. My original goal was to do just that. Put it into gold and real estate because that's all I've ever done. Basically, I've always done that. I've been buying gold since I'm a freaking teenager. But the thing is that what got me was this whole GameStop fiasco. When I saw GameStop shoot up the way it did, when I saw that we actually beat, Melvin, I don't know. I just went crazy. I said to myself, AMC is next, and I really fell into that like that thinking process, and I just said to myself, I'm gonna become like friggin' super rich, and that's it. And I put like literally, or at the time was all my liquid money. That's why I say it was my life savings. I put all of my liquid money, and it did hurt me. Don't think it did it. Don't think it didn't hurt me. I've lost a lot of money, but I'm lucky enough that I had other assets that I was able to sell, and I was able to raise more money. And I was lucky enough that this time around I put it into gold and I put it into my cash holdings. And I also have an account dedicated for real estate investing, which is growing substantially, but it's probably going to be used to buy a house for my mother. See, these are all the haters here. Just good afternoon, Back to the Future. So, but I just Back to the Future. I just want to be clear to you. I want to be clear because you're the only sensible person here, basically. I mean, maybe one or two more sensible people. I shouldn't say that. But everybody, Alex seems to be an intelligent person, but there seems to be mostly just haters. I'm still going to talk about stocks. So here's the deal. I'm not putting any more money in the stock market. So I just want all of you to know for future reference, if I talk about a stock, that's a new stock, I'm not putting any money into it. So that's it. I'm coming clean now. Now I'm coming clean. I've had it with the stock market. Okay. I still might talk about things for you because I remember at the end of the day, I'm a messenger. It's like, when you watch the news and the news reports new things that happen, I report stocks. If I feel a stock has a potential, I will use my platform. I will use it as a way to report news. But I will tell you, I'm not investing in it. I will tell you I'm not putting a penny in it, and I will tell you I'm not a financial planner. I don't give financial advice. So if I feel something has potential, I'll mention it. But so I never said I was going to stop talking about stocks. I just said I'm not going to put no more new money in the stock market because my direction now is gold, cash, and real estate. That's it. All the money I make, gold, cash, and real estate. And that's it. That's where the Apefather is going. Apefather will continue to hold AMC. I will continue to hold GameStop. I will continue to hold. I'm not selling. I will continue to hold MBOT. I will continue to hold Nano Dimensions. I will continue to hold DWAC. I have DWAC, and I believe in DWAC, and I believe in Trump and SBEV Splash. You guys are all just hating here. I don't sell gold. Okay, Alex. See, when you see, let's talk about gold because I think a lot of people don't understand what gold is. Gold is not something you invest in for a short term gain. So let me just educate all of you because I don't think you understand this. Gold is something that you hold for decades. You understand? You don't sell it. It's like you pass it on from one generation to another generation. Anyone who will buy gold and instantly sell it is going to lose money because Lou is right in the sense that you have to pay a premium. You have to see now, because I buy large amounts of gold, I get very good deals. Like I only normally pay $50 over spot. So if I buy a 1 ounce gold coin, I'm only paying $50. That's it. That's all I pay, $50 over spot. So to me, that's not a big deal. You understand? Like I have no intention of selling it. Okay. So for me to pay $50 over spot, I'm looking to hold this coin for the next 10 to 20 years. I'm not selling it. You know what I mean? But now, if you're looking to buy gold and you're going to pay $50 over, see, knowing you won't get a good deal like me. You'll probably pay $100 to $150 over spot because that's what most gold dealers charge. I just happen to get special rates because I've been doing business with people for a long time. Now, if you pay, like if you go to that JW Bullion website or whatever, If you start buying gold, most dealers are going to charge you 150 or more over spot. Now, if for whatever reason you want to sell it, you're going to have to spend another $150 to sell it. So that's where Lou is making a point. Excuse me. That's where Lou is making a point that, like, if you want to buy gold for the short term, it's a complete waste of time. Okay. So, but that's not the reason you're buying gold. You're buying it for the long term. Now you might say, but Apefather, I don't want to wait 10 years. I don't want to wait 20 years. So you don't understand what gold really is. Okay. You don't understand what gold is. What gold is supposed to be a hedge. It's supposed to be a hedge against every other thing you invest in. See, this is what the big banks do. You want to know what the big banks do, and the big institutional investors, and the Vanderbilts and all the big rich families and everybody out there. What they do is that they have their stock market holdings, right? They have their real estate holdings. They have everything, right? What gold is supposed to be is a hedge against a stock market crash, against a real estate crash, against any type of world event that could be a catastrophe, like when we had the coronavirus. You understand, et cetera, et cetera. So gold is supposed to be your protection against inflation, against everything, against, higher interest rates, cost of living, inflation, everything going up. Gold is a hedge against all of that. And the reason why you want to have it is because look at the things that's happened in our country over the last few years. Look at the things that's happened in the world in the last couple of, like, who would have ever thought the coronavirus would have ever happened? Right? Who would have ever predicted that would have ever happened? Okay. So we don't know what could happen in the future. You don't know. All the tensions that, remember, with Russia and Ukraine, that could have led to major, major problems. You don't know, at some point, China, we have a lot of problems with China, a lot of problems with China. And what I'm trying to say to you is at any moment there can be, and we don't wish this. We only wish for health, happiness, and success, and for peace in our world. But at any moment, something can happen. And it's kind of like, those people who talk about storing food, for emergencies, you know, storing water for emergencies. That's what gold is. Gold is really not, I don't consider gold an investment. I don't. I consider gold something to protect me. And you want to know something? When the coronavirus hit, okay, I told all of you I sold a portion of my gold. I rebought it, but I sold a portion of my gold. And when everyone else was struggling, like I remember, and you can ask my wife about this, I'll make her do a live stream. We saw people waiting for food. There was like these food lines, and people were starving. People lost their businesses. People lost their houses. People lost their jobs. I was sitting pretty during the coronavirus. I was eating out every night, like not eating out at restaurants, like they had to take out. I was going to Zato's of Brooklyn. I was getting $200 worth of food. We were eating like crazy. Okay. And we weren't struggling. And the reason why we weren't struggling is because I had gold. Now, if I didn't have gold, I mean, everything shut down. There was no way to do anything. Everything shut down. But the gold, I was able to sell it before Cuomo closed down the Diamond District. It was like days before. I sold like $50,000 worth of gold. I mean, I'll show it to you. I'll go on my bank account. I sold $50,000 worth of gold, and I was able to live off that during the whole coronavirus. But in essence, that's what gold is really meant for. That's the job of gold. The job of gold is that if there is some kind of a catastrophe, if there is some kind of a stock market crash, a housing crash, gold will save you. So Lou is trying to make XRP, that he's trying to make the case that XRP is the real hedge. It's complete bullshit. First of all, XRP is not going to do nothing for at least another 20 years. And even then, it may not do anything. I still believe today that if there's going to be cryptocurrencies that are going to take over the world, it's going to be controlled and owned by the governments. Each government will have its own cryptocurrency. I do not believe that the governments of our world will let Ripple, will let XRP take over the way Lou was saying. I don't believe it. I think Ripple will amount to nothing. And I think that you're all going to get killed on Ripple. But again, I am not a financial planner. I don't give any financial advice. You do what you want. If I was going to play with cryptocurrencies, it would be Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those would be the two I would play with. I would play with Bitcoin and Ethereum. I currently do not own Bitcoin. I'm going to tell you, I don't own Bitcoin. I used to. There was a time I did own both. I made money on it. I made money on Bitcoin. I made money on Ethereum. I even owned Ripple at one time. Okay. But I don't own cryptocurrencies currently. There's this lunatic here. This is not Chad Clifford. This is someone pretending to be Chad Clifford, obviously. Psychos. Hold on. I don't know. So I'm not listening to all of you haters. You can all talk to yourselves. So the thing is this. Why is it important, in my opinion, to buy gold? And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because it's not only a safe haven, it's not only a store of value, but it's a protection. Don't you understand? Because look, none of us have crystal balls. None of us have crystal balls. We don't know what's going to happen in this country, and we don't know what's going to happen in this world. At any moment, something, and I'm not talking just about wars. It could be, yes, the dollar could become, possibly worthless, or something can happen very bad that could be a catastrophe. Gold is a hedge against all of that. Precious silver as well. The problem with silver, though, is that it's too hard to store. It's too hard to store. I used to try. I used to use what. This is what I used to do. I would buy silver, and it would get to a point where I couldn't store it anymore because it's just it's too many of them. You know what I mean? It's like you need a friggin' vault. So what I would eventually do is I would convert my silver into gold. I would just say, once I got a lot of silver, I would say, okay, let me get a 1 ounce gold coin. And I always stick to American, by the way. I don't. There was a time I was buying like the Canadian gold coins, the Maple Leafs, and all that stuff. I just decided, I just want to stick with America. I trust America. Lady Liberty. The American Buffalo. I don't like messing around with anything else except American gold bullion. But that's why I believe gold is the true hedge against everything. So where my head is moving now in my life is this. I want to try, and I know it's going to be very difficult, but I want to try to one day, I can't do it right now, but to one day have everything equal. Okay. So in other words, the amount of cash that I have is going to be the amount of gold that I have. And the amount of real estate that I have, I want to have the amount of gold. I want it all to be equal. Now, you might say, that doesn't make any sense, right? You might say, why would you do something like that, Apefather? Because, all right, let's just take an example. Let's say I have $1.5 billion. Okay, let's just take this as an example. Let's say I have $500,000 worth of real estate, meaning that like that's the equity I'm talking about. I'm not talking about mortgages. I have $500,000 in equity in real estate. Now, let's say I have $500,000 in cash. Okay. Now, technically, you should have $1 million. Technically, worth of gold, because you want to have enough to cover your cash and your real estate. So actually 1.5 was the wrong figure. The correct figure would be $2 million. So in the case of having $500,000 in cash and $500,000 in real estate, you should have $1 million in gold. Now let me tell you why, if you're confused. If there is a real estate crash, if something happens to the dollar, like you know how Lou was predicting, like the dollar's finished. Okay. So if something happens to the dollar, and if something happens and there's a major real estate crash, the gold that you have will be the protection, and the gold will shoot up in value. And the gold will protect your net worth and your assets. Now, obviously, I'm giving you all big numbers, right? You don't have to have big numbers like that. You could start off relatively small. Like, let's say you only have, you know, $100,000 in equity in your home. Okay, so that means you should have 100,000 in cash and $100,000 in gold. I know, and to a lot of people, that sounds like a lot of money. I mean, you could look, you could do it in any amount: 20,000 real estate, 20,000 cash, 20,000 in gold. Now, by simply following this system, in my opinion, and again, I want to repeat to you that I am not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. I feel like you protect yourself. Now, it's the same thing if you invest in the stock market. It's not just real estate. It's the same. See, look, let's say you're not a real estate investor. All right. So let's say you have a portfolio of $100,000 in the stock market. Okay. You should have $100,000 in gold. Okay. Because God forbid, if there is a stock market crash, something bad happens in the stock market, your gold is your hedge. But now let me tell you something, and I want you all to listen to me very carefully. If you listen to a guy like Lou, who's obviously homeless, obviously has no money, okay, and you put all of your money in XRP, okay, and XRP doesn't work out, you're bankrupt. That's it. Bye bye. Bye bye, Birdie. You're bankrupt. Okay. If you put all of your money in the stock market and you see all the corruption that we faced with AMC, you're bankrupt. And you know why I'm not bankrupt? Because I was smart enough to have gold, to have cash, and real estate. That's why I'm okay. But if I would have been like a lot of people that just put all of their money into the stock market, I would be finished. And another thing is I learned from my mistakes. Okay. Look, I've gotten to a point, and I'm trying. The reason why I'm preaching the word to you is because you have to understand I care about all of you. And I want to try to take my mistakes that I made, and I'm trying to tell you to not make the same mistakes. It is a mistake to put all of your money in the stock market. It is a mistake. Okay. It is a mistake to put all of your money in cryptocurrencies, because these are very high risk ventures that you're doing. You know what I mean? A lot of them are controlled by billionaires, controlled by the 1%, corruption at its finest. And you really got to start getting a little bit more smarter. You got to say to yourself, I need to have a hedge. I need to have protection. And you want to know the truth, cash is really not even a protection either. Because even if you have cash, and I do have cash, even if you have cash, it's like you really don't know what could happen to the dollar. Again, there are so many factors that could affect the dollar. So that's why you want to have gold. All right. So anyway, I'll shut up on that. Anyway, it's all hate. It's all hate here. Anyway, I'm just gonna go because it's just all hate. I spoke my piece. I talked about DWAC. I talked about if Trump, who's, by the way, despite the fact that he took a mugshot, despite the fact that he's got four indictments and all of these problems, what's up, Back to the Future? He's still winning. He's winning by a landslide the Republican nomination. What's up, Back to the Future? I'm just waiting to see if Back to the Future had a question. He said, "Hey, I'm here for you." Oh, thank you, Back to the Future. I'm here for you too, brother. You are a great. You're more than just somebody over the internet. I consider you a really really great friend. My family loves you. You're a great person, Back to the Future. And that's basically it. But you know what it is? We got to take all of these experiences in our life and we have to learn from them. And I feel like a lot of people are not doing that. They're just continuously doing the same things over and over again. You got to understand Wall Street is controlled by Ken Griffin, it's controlled by Citadel. There's too much corruption. The corruption is absolutely incredible. It is insane. And if you're going to do that, just make sure that you have some kind of protection. Make sure that you have some sort of a hedge. And I feel that's gold. That's my opinion. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just telling you that's what I feel. And same concept goes for cash, and the same concept goes for real estate. I don't want to keep being redundant, but I feel like you should have just as much gold. This is what I feel. You should have just as much gold as you do stocks, as you do cash, as you do real estate. And you'll never lose, in my opinion. That's just how I feel. I just feel that you'll always be protected. You'll always have something that you can sleep well at night, knowing that you know what, no matter what happens, I'm okay. But if you don't have that, listen, people even think keeping their money in the bank is safe. People don't realize that the FDIC, they only cover you up to $250,000. Anything above $250,000, you're at risk. Okay. And shit happens. Banks get robbed. You know, there could be a collapse in the financial system. Look at what happened in 2008. Because I actually know people, okay, like my cousin, he has like $2 million at the bank. He has it in like a savings account. And I tell him all the time, because I don't think he understands it. I'm like, you realize you're only protected up to 250,000, right? And if anything ever happened, all of that money that you have is gone. Like I would never in a million years keep money. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, why not keep 250,000 in multiple accounts? Like, let's say you have 2.5 million. You could keep $250,000 in 10 accounts so that you get that FDIC protection. That's not a bad idea, but I still wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't do it. I look at what happened to Greece. Remember what happened to Greece, and people couldn't even take out any money from they couldn't even withdraw any money. It sticks with me. I don't trust a lot of things in this world. I trust me. You know, I don't trust. I feel like this world is trying to f us. Everybody is trying to screw us. Everybody is trying to hurt us, and you got to be 10 steps ahead. You got to be 10 steps ahead because everybody is out to get your money. That's it. I hate to say it, but the stock market is out to get your money. Casinos are out to get your money. The government's out to get your money. Everywhere you go, whether it be shopping, businesses, everyone is out to get your money. And you got to just be smart. See, it's all about exposure. You know what I mean? And that's what I learned. The biggest mistake I learned from AMC, it's all about exposure. If you expose yourself too much, you're going to get burnt. And that's why I got burnt with AMC. I got burnt because I exposed myself too much. I put too much effing money, and that's it. It was stupid. It was too much exposure. That's why now I decided no more money in the stock market. I'm not exposing myself anymore to any potential losses. Look, I invested what I invested. It is what it is. Let's see what happens with all these stocks. That's it. I'm not exposing myself anymore. Now it's about building up gold for me, cash, and real estate. I don't even know if anybody's even listening to what I'm saying here, except for basically Back to the Future. So anyway, let me get going. Everything I said in this live stream, it is not financial advice. I am not a financial planner. It is for entertainment purposes only. V for victory. God bless you and God bless your families. Take care.